it's an intro bootcamp of 2D game development. So we are working on the input system as well as the animation. So we already finished with animation, and the parameters is working, is attacking, and we don't want to just click it to achieve that. We sort of need to get users' input and get our input system up and running, so we don't need to just click in this environment. Okay, and let's get back to it. So yeah, first we like to add a input system. So I'm going to search help and search the package manager, and we are going to use the package manager to load the input system. And once you are opening the package manager, you're going to change that from my as to Unity registry, so I can get all sort of assets here. And what I'm going to do is to search the input system. So I'm going to search input, and we got input system. This is the official Unity registry, so we can get the Unity's input system, and we can use that. So you can get a version, it's a pretty recent version of it, and if you watch this video, you might get a newer version, just install a newer version. If it got major changes, I'm going to make a video to explain that, okay? And yeah, you might get this warning, say this project is using the new input system package, but a native platform backend for the new input system are not enabled in the player settings. This means that no input from the native device will come through. Do you want to enable the backend? Doing so will restart the editor. So of course I'm going to enable the backend and just click yes, and we'll just restart. So I have successfully installed that package input system. So what I'm going to do is to add a component to our player right here, and all this rigid body and capture collider. Let's add a component, and that component will be our player input. Okay, so remember it's player input, not player input manager. Okay, so player input, and we got this lighting sign here, which means that you'll control this. And of course you can just switch off this gizmo, or just to make it the icon a little bit smaller. Really matter that much. So you can just create actions and create that action for you. And right now we're inside the assets. You can actually create a new directory for that. So for example, you can add a directory called input system, something like that. Okay, and you can create it, and to the jumper input actions, you can just sort of tend to just get the project name. So we get to the jumper, and we just get the to the jumper as a name. It doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, if you save that, you are going to see a sort of input system coming up. And yeah, you can see these input actions, and we'll configure that later on. For now, let's just see where we store I got inside the input system. I've got 2D jumper, right? And what I'm going to do is go back to this player. Remember, we haven't got this configuration inside of this player input, so we got this actions and to the jumper input action asset. I think that's pretty good. I think there's automatic connect that. If you do not have, you can just click and drag, and it will sort of a reference that. Remember, it's called input action asset, not sort of a manager, something like that. Okay, so you need to be aware of that. And I think when you finish that, it automatically open up the configuration window, which is pretty good. It saves you a little bit of time, so you can just do the configuration right there. And if you close that, I think you need to double click that. I think when you actually add that, it will automatically add the this input system here as sort of just click and drag. If you change that, you can just click and drag. Of course, if you create that for the first time, you will just get automatically add that to it. And let's add two of the most important functionality. One is move. They will just add that here. Yeah, so yeah, nothing too fancy about that. And attacking, I think the fire can be as attacking. Okay, and of course I also need this person to jump, because you sort of need that person to get all these hurdles, so you can actually add action here. You can do a lot of customization, and we got no bindings here, of course, so you can add binding. Okay, and so we can add multiple binding here. So because I'm using a PC to test that, so what I'm going to do is to just say this is keyboard and mouse. So if you got a gamepad, you get joystick, you get touch, you get XR, you can just switch it on. Okay, so if you got this, you got a controller, you can just click the gamepad. You can do that, and but right now I think just use the keyboard will be good enough to yeah, to test it. We got this. Remember, this is a keyboard, so let's go to keyboard and choose jump. I think most of the time local character mapping to key jump. I think local of a key using US character mapping to key jump. Okay, I think space jump is pretty, yeah, WASD and space jump. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So yeah, and right now I don't have a gamepad ready, so I think just delete that. Yeah, just use spaces jump and move. We're gonna say that we got a WSD. That's a pretty standard keyboard, and you can see the pass is the W for keyboard. Yeah, part up, yeah, something like that. Okay, and yeah, jump. We don't have that. We just use space to do that. And since we haven't got any code ready, so we're going to write some logic to handle that. Okay, so right now we got moving, and we got jump, and we'll add attack in the flying system later, because that involves pretty complex coding. Right now, let's just get this guy moving and jumping. Okay, so two of the most simple action. Okay, and yeah, let's just save it. Okay, so every time you want to do the revision, you just double click and you can see the jump. We got this space. Okay, yeah, and then of course we have a lot to set. So we click this player, you go to this open input settings. I don't think we already got input settings, so let's just open that, and you can see a pretty complex input system package settings, and you can initialize that by creating setting assets. Okay, so yeah, you just automatically create that asset for you, and you're good to go. So I think we can organize that by just close it. We got an input system, and we can click and drag to the input system. Okay, so in input system we get to the jumper, right, and move, look, fire, jump. You can add attacking, something like that. You can just customize that, and we got this input system, and yeah, so let's write some code to get all this actually working. So we got a folder. Let's call this folder script folder. So this is sort of like the convention, and yeah, we tend to get the scripts, and inside we get all sort of script. So let's create that as an HTTP script. That will be our player movement. Yeah, that C# code we're dealing with the player movement. And don't forget, this script will control this player, so you can just click and drag this script to the player, and you can actually see this script working. Okay. Oops, I don't think I successfully moved that, so let's do that again. Click and drag. Hopefully I can just yeah. over here. Cannot restructure prefab instance. Move and components can be reordered. Prefab mode. Okay, so yeah, essentially what it says that we can't restructure the prefab instance because I already got this prefab of player here. So I think why not just to change the prefab? Okay, so I just click the right button and we can get this prefab. Okay, and you can click and drag, and we can just move this script right here, and it can be added. Okay, so if you access the prefab mode, you get an instance of a player, and you write down, and I think you can get this player input as well as player movement script. Okay, so when you change the prefab, you change the instance. So let's quickly write this code so we can get this user's inputs ready when you actually input something. Okay, so yeah, let me double click that. I think I'll change the defaults to JetBrains version. Okay, and yeah, JetBrains seems to discontinue some part of the IDE, while at some IDE they will just continue. I think this rest assured, this C# IDE they will continue, and I think the Apple's sort of Xcode competitor IDE just together discontinued. So yeah, I think this app code got discontinued maybe. Yeah, so yeah, you don't need to worry about that. I use this because oh yeah, I'm just a huge fan of a Copilot. So yeah, and we got Unity engine, and I think I can just duplicate this Unity engine. And we can Unity engine and dots. We got an input system. Yeah, so let's use that. And let me declare something before this event function. So I'm going to say this is the vector2 because it's 2D space, and I'm going to say this is our move input. Okay, so yeah, you don't need to private, just a move input. And then what I'm going to do is to yeah, every time every frame this update function will be checked. So I'm going to say that every frame you need to check for user's input, and let's just print this input out. And I think Unity got so smart. This is not Unity got so smart, it's Xcode, Copilot got so smart, and we just automatically generate the void on move, and we got the map value and get vector2. I think that would do just good. So let me just get that code, and yeah, so you will get this on move. And if you're wondering what heck is on move, this is thing that we're dealing with when we are using this yeah, let me just let it to compile that, and we get this input system. Remember, we got 2D jumper, and we got input system. Okay, so I think we got this player input system, yeah, behavior. Just below that we got all sort of things will send message to game objects on device loss and also thing, and we got this I think on move. Yeah, on move. The reason they have that is that when you got this 2D jumper, you add this action, you will automatically add that function here, and when you add that, you can use the inside of the code. Okay, so once you get that user's input, I'm going to see that in my debug console. So let's just use the log to get out. Okay, and remove input. Okay, so let's just quickly test it. Let's go back to our game, compile that. So I think the move is a WASD system. So I think using my keyboard will do the work. So let's go back to the console. Okay, so I got the pretty strange. Okay, yeah, guys, I know where the bug go. We don't have any bug in our steps or in our code. Is that you need to click this inside of this game, and then you use your keyboard to do that, and yeah, you can see this Unity debug log object. Okay, so yeah, so we actually successfully get our users input from our keyboard, and then I think maybe I'm going to add this animation. So when the user sets a certain thing, press a certain thing, I'm going to play that animation and actually make this sprite move. Okay, so I think that's will be solved in the next video. It's already